everybody, welcome to the I Am IT Geek YouTube channel. My name is Shabazz Da, and as ever, I am the IT Geek. We have arrived finally at the conclusion of my SC200 Microsoft Security Operations Analyst exam series. We are finally on Learning Path 8. We're going to be two episodes, so this is actually a double episode drop. So the day, I think this is a Friday, I'm releasing both episodes, so the episode 2 will be straight after this. And yeah, it's just been nearly 26, 27 episodes. If you're still following, well done. And I really do hope this is helping you with your preparation. As I said, I've had loads of support and loads of good feedback around it, so I'm kind of glad people are enjoying the topic as well as the format, a bit of a different format with the learning paths. So yeah, but again, really enjoyed the exam stuff. I always do. I'm preparing some more series coming up, which I'll talk about that in the second episode as a bit of a summary and conclusion. Anyway, let's get started with this episode. All my socials, you should know them by now. They're in my description as well, in case you missed them. So this is Learning Path 8, as I mentioned. It's not about that big learning path. We are able to cover it in two episodes. As I said, this is a double episode day. So we're going to talk about explaining threat concepts within Microsoft Sentinel. We're then going to talk about threat hunting with Microsoft Sentinel. Moving on to using search jobs, sorry, in Microsoft Sentinel. And then an optional topic which we are going to cover is hunting for threats using notebooks in Microsoft Sentinel. Again, we've got a lab in each episode as well. So let's talk about what we're going to cover in this episode. So we're going to cover explaining threat hunting concepts in Microsoft Sentinel. Then we'll move on to threat hunting in Microsoft Sentinel, and then we'll complete this with a demo. This episode of the demo about performing threat hunting in Microsoft Sentinel. So we'll start to talk about explaining threat hunting concepts. So the term threat hunting is it's essentially defined differently by different people. Depends who you talk to, really. The most common sort of used definition is the idea that you are sort of proactively hunting through your tenant, for your environment, for a threat or some sort of set of activities that you've not sort of previously seen or detected. The sort of the not previously detected part, that's kind of what differentiates threat hunting from sort of incident response and or sort of alert triaging. And threat hunting should be a kind of continual process. It's not something that you just do once and then leave it. And that kind of there, you can see the sort of process there. And in the center, obviously, you've got document, but then you've got sort of develop a hypothesis. You've got, review the data, plan the hunt, execute that hunt, respond to it, monitor it, improve. Obviously, all the way through that, making sure you document. So we're talking about that sort of hypothesis of developing threat hunting. We to keep it achievable. Can't kind of try and do too much or too little either. So you need to make sure whatever you're sort of hunting and whatever you're trying to complete is achievable. Keep that scope narrow as well. Don't have such a large scope that again that it take you time to do the threat hunting. It wants to be a quick and simple process. Keep it time bound as well. Again, don't have it lasting for ages. Have a set amount of time that you're going to be doing that threat hunting process, and have that the same every time. So it becomes a bit of a routine, if you know what I mean. Keep it useful and efficient as well. Again, there's no point if it's difficult to do, and if you're not gaining the insights that you need from it. So make sure you keep getting useful content from it, keep useful information. Also make sure that you stay efficient with it, and it's an easy process to do. And sort of the fifth point I wanted to make was you got to keep it related to the threat model that you defend against. So again, there's so many different types of threats. Make sure the threat hunting that you're completing is for a specific sort of threat rather than just a wide or any sort of threat. There's so many specific threats that your threat hunting needs to be specific to that threat as well. And you can change it up every time. You don't have to do the same one each time. Let's move on to talking about threat hunting with Microsoft Sentinel. So let's touch on managing queries first of all. So you can create and run hunting queries to search for sort of isolated security threats and unwanted activity. And that's the sort of dashboard that you receive there. As you can see, you've got total queries at the top. And again, it just kind of shows you all the queries that you've done kind of there in the sort of middle, as well as the sort of results that they've, well, no results have been achieved yet, but the sort of data source as well that you're getting that information from. And you can save key findings with bookmarks as well. So anything you do find that you think will be relative and relevant later on, give it a bookmark. So bookmarks in Microsoft Sentinel can help you hunt for threats by preserving the queries you ran in Microsoft Sentinel along with the query results that you deem relevant. And again, you can run those at a later date again because you bookmarked them, they're there, and then you can just, as and when you feel the need to, you can run them again. So we're gonna go do a demo right now, and I believe the demo is gonna be around, if I'm not mistaken, that's it, performing threat hunting in Microsoft Sentinel. So let's move across to the portal. Welcome back. Here we are in the Microsoft Sentinel area of Microsoft Azure, and then we're gonna go to our workspace, and then we need to go to logs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the query here, and this is if you're following the labs on the SC200 GitHub repository, um, this is the same query from there. So I'm going to put the query in, and then we will run it, review it, and run it, and see what the results are. So here we have again, this is the same query that's in the GitHub repository lab for Learning Path 8 Lab 1. And what we can do is we can run this. And again, at the moment, we've not found any results. So I don't have any results to find. But again, we can set this to 12 hours if we wanted to see if that finds anything. No, it's not found anything again, but you can change some of the parameters. Again, you might find, I think I might not have run a query in a previous lab, which is why, or I might have deleted the information, which is why this hasn't found anything. But from here, what you're able to do, and if you're following the lab, you'll see that you can select the sort of, if you have results, select one of the results, the checkbox, and you can do you'll have an option in the sort of middle pane to add a bookmark. And then what you can do is you can do select the entity, which is the host or the host name and the computer for the values. And then you can do some tactics and techniques. Unfortunately, obviously, mine's not found anything, so it's a bit difficult for me to do anything. But essentially, running that query, you can complete a lot of different other tasks by bookmarking, adding entities, and like sort of selecting the relevant tactics and techniques. And also, you can again select the custom query, and you can put in a custom query again with all that information in, and get more in-depth detail again. So this is sort of the hunt query and the threat hunting option that I wanted to show you. But again, unfortunately, because I've got no results, I can't go into it anymore. So not the best of labs there, unfortunately. But because I've not got the intended results I wanted. But again, if you're following the GitHub Labs, that will have all the relevant sort of information that you need to follow. Um, and again, that'll give you sort of pointers on where you can find the different options around threat hunting. So, yeah, thanks. So that's episode 1. As I mentioned, it's a shorter learning path in Learning Path 8. And straight after this, we're going to go straight into episode 2 to complete this series. Some really useful links in my description around where you can get more information around obviously the GitHub repository, also the Microsoft Learning Path for SE200, very important. I recommend you follow that as well as these videos. But also for if you want any practice questions, Measure Up are doing, always doing really good deals, and I've used them for a lot of exams. So I recommend getting their sort of SC200 exam questions, practice questions. And again, the link is in the description to that, and you get a discount as well. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.